We are about to watch my $100 fantasy football draft for the season. It's the most expensive fantasy football draft I've ever done, and I basically got to do it for free. I used the Underdog fantasy app. There's a link in the description below if you would like to similarly get a $100 free fantasy football draft if you want to look at it that way. The reason I can claim that it was a free $100 entry was because they give you a 50% bonus, sign-up bonus on your first deposit, meaning if you do like I did and deposit $200 or more the first deposit, they will give you $100 or more, and you could theoretically use it to enter you into a $100 league for free. I've chosen a 10-team league, which means it's a $1,000 pool. Minus the 10% rake, there's $900 in prizes. First place will take home $600 at the end of the season. I'm hoping to flip my initial deposit into $600 free dollars. There's more things I like about Underdog as well. There's benefits to it. I am coming back from a 2-year break from fantasy football altogether. I used to be in leagues. I would be unhappy with the performance of commissioners of those leagues. I would be unhappy with the banter. I'd be in group chats with an atheist, and I would say something like, after a close finish, a close win for my fantasy football team, I would say, hey, thank God for the Monday night football game. And then the atheist in the chat would say, well, joke's on you because there is no God, and there's always a Monday night football game, buddy. And I would say, well, there's not always a Monday night football game. Ask Damar Hamlin. And thank God, you still have the ability to ask Damar Hamlin. But let me get off my soapbox and back to Underdog. See, the advantages of Underdog is that once you perform the fantasy draft, you're done for the season. You don't set lineups, they do it for you based off your best possible lineup. There is no waiver wire, there's no trades. Once you execute the draft, sit back, watch the games, enjoy the rest of the season. All the work you can do is done. So, with the draft room getting ready to fill up, let's have some fun and draft a winning team. All right, we only need 2 more people to join this draft. 2 more victims. As I'm looking at it, the draft order will be sorted randomly. I think the 10th position is by far the worst place to be. There's 9 players in this draft that I think are clearly above the rest. In that 10th spot, you get 2 picks in a row, but then you have to wait, 18 more picks? So you get the worst, easily the worst first round pick, and then you got to wait 18 more picks before you get rounds 3 and 4. It's the worst spot to be. I think the 4th position is the second worst spot to be. So hopefully when we get randomly assigned here, we won't be 10th, we won't be 4th. Anything else, I'll be happy with. All right, we got in. Oh my gosh, we got the 3rd choice. The draft has started. I had to pause Candace Owens on the TV. I'll have to listen to that later. 3rd choice means we're going to end up with Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, or Tyreek Hill, whoever falls to us. I'm not the biggest CeeDee Lamb fan here, but that's usually who you end up with at 3, and I'll take him if I have to. I would prefer Tyreek Hill. All right, first player is on the clock. You get 30 seconds to make your selection. I've got my screen recording for you guys over here so that you can see the sort of mobile cell phone angle of this thing as well. Oh my gosh, it looks like, okay, the 2nd pick auto-drafted because they might not be in the draft, and they took CeeDee Lamb, the auto-drafted CeeDee Lamb. That means we get Tyreek. We get Tyreek like I was hoping. We're locked in right there. Jamar Chase goes 4. It's going to be a while before we get another pick. But, man, I love the 3rd position. I love that I didn't get unlucky on the draw here on the big $100 draft. I got one of the positions that I really like. Thank goodness. All right, we're 10 picks away. There go Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson, usually back-to-back. Yep. I mean, we'll see if we can take running back at the end of round 2. I doubt it. Usually in the 3rd position, you end up going three wide receivers deep. is my experience practicing. All right, Saquon Barkley just went. That was probably the only running back I'd consider taking at the end of the second. I'm not a big Achane guy. I'm not a big Kyron Williams guy. All right, here we are up. Do we go Waddle? Do we stack both? Do we stack both freaking Dolphin receivers? I've done it before in a practice draft. I think we're going to do it. I'm going to snap Waddle right there and hope that we can get Tua later in the draft. If we can get Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek, we should have some weeks where we score incredibly highly. And yeah, I mean, I'm staring at the board right now. We're going to go, usually in this third position in the draft, you end up going 3 or 4 wide receivers deep before you draft anybody else. That's what I think we're going to do here. We're only 4 picks away from our third pick. There goes Nico Collins. I don't like drafting Nico Collins. I think Stephon Diggs is the best receiver on that team. And they've also got Tank Dell. And they've also got Dalton Schultz. It's too many targets going around. We got one more pick. We're going to get Olave or a Devontae Adams right here, whichever one falls to us. I love both of those picks. I love them both. Whoever this guy doesn't take, we're going to grab. This is the person that's on auto draft, isn't it? So they're probably going to get Olave. We'll take Devontae Adams. Yep, there goes Olave. We got Devontae. See, I used to play in dynasty leagues where I would draft rookies constantly and try to set myself up for success like 5-10 years down the road. And now I find myself on Underdog in these one-season scenarios drafting the older players a lot, the proven commodities, especially at the top. Especially at the top. You know, like Malik Neighbors just got drafted. I haven't drafted that guy even one time in my practice drafts. A rookie wide receiver with Daniel Jones at quarterback, I don't trust that at all. Ayuk, you could say Brandon Ayuk is an uncertain commodity at this point. Yeah, he's not a rookie, but is he going to even be on the 49ers? Who is his quarterback for this year? We don't know yet. We don't truly know yet. So I want commodities that I can know, aside from injury, we can trust this player. Mike Evans is another one. That's a good pick by Rose City. Mike Evans, you know what you're going to get. By the way, there goes DK Metcalf. When you're locked in for your NFL fantasy football drafts, you got to make sure you've got a foot massager. You've got to stay comfortable while you do something this serious and this mentally taxing. You've got to keep your body in peak condition. You got to take care of both ends of your body. If you want your mind to be working, you got to keep your feet nice and happy. All right, we're coming up here in 2 more picks. Travis Etienne just went off the board. He was the running back that I was looking at. He was potentially going to be my RB1. Instead, do we go tight end? Do we go Laporta? Do we go Kelsey or Laporta? I think I'm snapping tight end. I think we go Laporta. Let's go Laporta. He's coming off the best rookie season for a tight end of all time. I like going Kelsey too, but didn't hit 1,000 yards last year. He's definitely on the back 9 of his career. Let's go with Laporta, who is still on the ascent. We've got to start thinking about running back. Should I go quarterback? Do I go Mahomes? I think I go Mahomes if he falls one more pick. Man, we're going to pretty much be like 0 RB in this thing. We're going to need running backs at the end of this draft to hit. That's just kind of how this draft is working out. There goes Travis Kelce. There goes Tank Dell. We're going to go Mahomes with this pick. We're going to go Mahomes and hope that we can match to... Oh, man. You know, that might have been a little bit of a mistake. As I look at it, Tua also on a Week 6 bye. We want to draft Tua later in the draft if we can. He shares a bye week with Mahomes. So that's not ideal. But we might not end up getting Tua even if we want him. It might not work out that perfectly, so we've got to just... We got to get guys on this team who are going to put points up. So far, I think we've done that with all 5 picks. We're up in 5 picks. Here's what the draft board looks like so far. So I'm not the only team that hasn't drafted a running back yet. Actually, there's several of us, which probably means these running backs are going to get targeted very soon. We've still got Josh Jacobs and James Cook available. I'm a big fan of Rachaad White this year. I'm a fan of that pick. We're 3 picks away. I think I'm going to get one of these guys. Yeah, there we go. There goes Calvin Ridley off the board. There goes James Cook. Now you're going to start to see the running backs fly. Yeah, we're definitely taking one of them. There goes Jacobs. Okay, we kind of got stuck with Rachaad White. But he might have been the one I would have chosen out of those 3 anyway. We'll take Rachaad White. And we're 4 picks away from another pick. If Kenneth Walker is there, I'm taking him. Let me go ahead and cue him up. I think there's a big drop-off, in my opinion, between Kenneth Walker and the next best guy here. This guy auto-drafting is, I think, really helping us out. Let's look at that team. Talking Schmidt has, look at that. We're 7. This is the 7th round. Let's see who they auto pick this time. They have 6 wide receivers, no running backs, no quarterbacks, no tight ends. That's what happens when you auto draft. If it picks Jaden Reed, then we take Kenneth Walker. Oh, no way. It gave him a 7th wide receiver. We get Kenneth Walker. Okay, this draft is starting to shape up kind of how I want. I'm not getting sniped. I call it getting sniped. When you queue somebody up and then the player or 2 before you picks the guy that you wanted. I call that getting sniped. We haven't been sniped yet in this draft. That's good. I'm not a complete disaster at running back. That's a good sign. All right, we're 3 picks away again. 2 picks away. With Mahomes on the roster, Hollywood Brown probably is not a bad idea. But he's a wick. We can't. Tyreek and Waddle both have Week 6 buys. I can't take a wide receiver with a Week 6 bye. I like Jordan Addison too, also a Week 6 bye. Okay, we're kind of in a bad spot at wide receiver all of a sudden. Now I'm up. I wanted to do this with my next pick, but I think we're going to go ahead and do it now. We're going to take Joe Burrow. Week 12 bye. The Bengals play the Giants on Week 6 this week. So if we do end up with Tua and Mahomes and we need Joe Burrow in Week 6, that's not a bad option. We're once again turning the corner of the round, which means we only have to wait 4 picks in between picks. I think I got to go wide receiver. There goes Hollywood Brown. God, I'm not a... Okay, I do see Cortland Sutton down here a little bit. There goes JSN in Seattle. I don't want to draft Coleman or McConkey because they're rookies. There goes Coleman anyway. I'm going to end up with Cortland Sutton. I think that's a good pick. I think Bo Nix looks way better than I expected him to look in preseason. And he's going to have to throw the ball to somebody. I would love to take Jordan Addison, but I can't take another 6th round bye receiver. We're going to have to go Cortland Sutton here. Lock him in. He's on the team. There we go. That's our 4th wide receiver. 8 picks away from my next pick. We're going to have to put some running back depth together. I like Zamir White a lot as a pick. I mean, I guess we could take Mostert if we have to. Javonte Williams is the next. There goes Mostert off the board. Javonte Williams would be next highest on my board. We're really running out of options here. And we still got to wait 7 picks. Thankfully, this guy has 4 running backs already. This guy has 3. They shouldn't be drafting running backs. Rose City should easily be drafting a running back here. If we survive the Rose City pick, we might get Zamir White. If not, we're in real trouble here. What's the bye week for Javonte? 14? 10? Crap. Zamir White shares a bye week with Kenneth Walker. Rose City did take running back, but not one that I'm interested in. There's still some decent receivers out here too, but I've got to have a 3rd running back. Oh, this is a tough spot. 3 picks away. I think even though Zamir White shares the bye week with Kenneth Walker, I still have to pick him if he falls this many picks to me. He's going to fall to me. Maybe we can draft both of these guys, because we only have to wait 4 more picks after this one. It's possible we're going to get them both. Three, two, one. Auto draft again. Who you taking? Oh my God, he sniped. I got auto draft sniped. That's brutal. That changes the math here. I think we... Wow, I have to take Javonte Williams. I have to. At least that solves the bye week problem that Zamir had. But my goodness, that one hurt. I need another wide receiver, but I'm afraid we're not going to get to a Tagovailoa if I take a wide receiver. I don't know what to do. We're definitely not going tight end. There's more QB options later. We don't have to get Tua. We don't have to. Maybe Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren has quietly fallen to pick 102 here. I didn't expect that. That's why I haven't been talking about him. Wow, he fell. Is that a better option than what we can get? We can get wide receiver later. There's still a few guys. We're actually going to take Jaylen Warren. This is the first time I've drafted him this year. Let's go get him. Okay, now we've got 4 running backs that I'm halfway comfortable with. I think we turn our attention back to wide receiver in the next 2, and we take Tua if he's there. Update, Tua fell to us. I said we were going to do it. Let's do it. Let's go get Tua. Why not? Let's have some fun. This team is going to have a very high ceiling on weeks that the Miami Dolphins score, 70 points, hopefully. Okay, we got 2 more picks here, and we get another guy. I'm looking at Rashid Shaheed. Jerry Jeudy, maybe. Mike Williams and Darnell Mooney, I think, are decent grabs here, too. There goes Shaheed. He's off the board. Gabe Davis has the highest projected points total left among receivers. No, Jerry Jeudy does. Okay. Yeah, I think Jerry Jeudy would be my pick here as the 5th wide receiver. There goes Nick Chubb off the board. I don't love the pick, but at this point, how many picks am I going to love? How many players are worth loving this deep in the draft? I think we go Jerry Jeudy. Got him. He is kind of a quiet, could pop off player. It's hard to get guys this late that could be, several rounds undervalued. I really just think he might be one of those guys. 3 picks away again. Here's the draft board. We have 5 selections remaining. Okay, here's my thought process. I'm going to need at least 1 more tight end, obviously. Maybe 2 in case of injury. I need at least 1 more wide receiver on this roster. I'd like to put a 4th quarterback on this team. I know a lot of people don't do that. But we're talking about Joe Burrow and Tua, who both have an injury history. Oh, I'm on the clock. I should have paid attention. Do we go Mooney? I said earlier Mooney was a good pick. Let's go ahead and get that wide receiver body. I like Mooney in this spot. Former Bear. Doesn't share a bye week with any of my other receivers. He could be a good fill-in receiver every once in a while. Anyway, I'd like to put a 4th quarterback on this team just in case Burrow and Tua go down. I can't have Pat Mahomes be my only option. This team's too good to let, extreme misfortune with QB injury be its downfall. So I've got to, this guy right here, 1 QB. These people only have 2. So they need 2nd and 3rd QBs, and here I am talking about my 4th. I just think I draft better than some other people do. We'll review all the rosters at the end. Dotson just got traded. If I were to take a quarterback, it can't be week 6 or 12. Screw it. We take Aaron Rodgers, who has a week 12 bye, but I was running out of time. You know what? He's going to have some games. And with Patrick Mahomes and Burrow and Tua on the roster, I'm not going to need a lot from Rodgers. but he's got the potential. Maybe not for the whole season, but week by week. In a one-game sample size, he easily could throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. With only 3 picks left, I think we've got to make a decision here. I think we run with 6 wide receivers since they're so good. I think we stick with what we got. I think what I should do is put 2 more tight end bodies on the roster and 1 more running back. I see Bucky Irving down here. I see Khalil Herbert that I like. I see Dameon Pierce. I think Dameon Pierce and Khalil Herbert and Bucky Irving are only 1 injury away from being the guy. Do I take Bucky Irving as Rachaad White insurance? There goes Musgrave. Musgrave was the tight end that I was going to draft. He just went off the board. This guy has 3 tight ends, so he's not going to take Hunter Henry. We're going to get Hunter Henry here. I need to figure out which running back we're going to take. We're about to take one right now. Who's it going to be? We're either going Bucky Irving, Khalil Herbert, or Dameon Pierce. What do the bye weeks look like? Bucky Irving works. Khalil Herbert works. Dameon Pierce doesn't work because he shares one with Javonte. I've got my choice of the 3. They've all fallen to me. You know what? I'm looking at Antonio Gibson too. Also week 14. I'm calling an audible. We took Antonio Gibson because I didn't think about that. I don't know if I love that pick. I probably should have taken Bucky Irving as insurance. Now I have to decide if I'm going to change my mind about our final pick. We got 1 pick left. We can either put a 3rd tight end body on this team, or I can circle back and take Bucky Irving or Khalil Herbert or Dameon Pierce at the very end. I've got about 2 minutes to think about this. Let me think. Bucky Irving and Khalil Herbert just went off the board. They might be making my decision for me. I like Tyler Conklin as the option. He's the clear option if we go tight end here. Dameon Pierce is still on the board. Wow, okay, it's going to be one of those 2 guys. What a decision. I'm on the clock. I've got my choice. Wow, that's tough. I wish that the decision would have been made for me. 14. We're going Dameon Pierce. That's tough. Man, I just got to hope. I'm making a bet right there. I'm making a bet that Sam Laporta stays healthy the entire year. That's a little bit risky, but I think there's a better chance that Joe Mixon gets hurt than there is that Laporta gets hurt based on history. Look at that. Tyler Conklin went the pick after I took Dameon Pierce. I could have sniped that guy. I probably should have, but here we are. Here's the end of the draft. We can review every roster at this point. All right, let's check out the rosters. See, there's a 10% rake in the league. So the app is taking $100 profit for being the host. The rest of the money is given to the winners, like we already discussed. $600 to first place, $200 to second place, $100 money back to third place. Okay, so I'm in the casino business. I'm an odds guy. The way I look at it, to recover the rake, 10% rake, if I have one fish in this league, one really weak drafter, one auto drafter that got screwed over, then we make up for the rake. I think we had two. So I think I have odds in this league because we've got two. I mean, first of all, look at the projected totals. Welty is your highest projection, and that's going to happen when you draft 4 quarterbacks. But this is the other thing about drafting 4 quarterbacks. You take quarterbacks off the board for the other teams to draft, so you end up with never balk down and Dre Leotis at the bottom here, your 2 lowest projections. They've got 1 quarterback. Just Jared Goff. You've also only got 1 tight end on this roster. Just Kittle and Goff, that's all you've got. So if an injury happens, you're completely screwed at the position. And no matter what on the bye weeks, they have no one to play in place of Goff or Kittle. It doesn't matter who's at running back or wide receiver. In my opinion, these 2 teams, here's the other one. You're relying on Anthony Richardson only. That worked really well last year. And Jake Ferguson. In my opinion, yeah, look at all the receivers he's got. Congratulations. It still won't matter. You can't rely on 1 quarterback and expect to win. There's also teams in here with only 2 quarterbacks. Well, he's got 3. Hold on. Let's look at some teams with only 2. Talkin' Schmidt, he was one of the auto draft teams, right? Purdy and Mayfield, and that's it. Average running back core at best. Really strong at receiver. And he's okay at tight end, but is that guy going to be competing with my team? I don't know. This guy's only got 2 quarterbacks too. Jordan Love and Kirk Cousins. That's it. I'm not scared of a team with only 2 quarterbacks because in this league, man, in the NFL, these quarterbacks aren't playing every game anymore. Let's start from the top now. He's got 3 quarterbacks, only 4 running backs. Very McCaffrey reliant. Really nice receiving core. Very nice. And obviously it's nice having Kelsey. He's one of the teams with only 2 quarterbacks. Here's another one with only 2 quarterbacks. Josh Allen and Will Levis. Solid team, but man, yeah, this is the one that sniped Zamir White right out from under me. I don't know, man. Here's a good team. 3 quarterbacks. Good running backs, good receivers. Decent tight end. I really like this. C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert. Really high ceiling there at quarterback. 3 strong running backs. I like the receiver picks. I think Jamison Williams and Jalen Polk in particular are underrated. 3 tight ends, just in case. That's going to be a good team. Rose City, look at that. Got my boy Caleb Williams. Hurts and Lawrence. A little weak at running back, but at least he's got 2 Bear running backs in case one of them gets hurt. The other one should be the bell cow for a little while. Really strong at receiver. Might be a low-key Bear fan here. Komet, Caleb Williams, Swift and Herbert all on the roster. Go Bears. Go Rose City. Hopefully Rose City gets second place with that squad. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm competing with here. Of those 10 rosters, personally, I think there's probably 6 that have an opportunity in this thing. I've already eliminated 40% of the competition. Now of the 6 teams remaining, third place breaks even, second place doubles up, first place 6x's the money, and it was a free draft to begin with. Again, don't forget, link in the description. It also helps me if you use it to sign up for the app, make your first deposit, get a 50% bonus. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a long one. I'm not used to making these long videos, but hey, it's a fantasy draft. It's been a good one. Good luck to you all this season. I wish success upon your teams, unless you're in the NFC North and you're not a Bears fan. Anyway, I will see you next time on Welty.